Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is doing well today. Now, the video that I want to cover today, this is about one second. This is about the more of an extension from my previous video where I cover about the World Economic Forums and their target by 2030. So this one is going to concentrate more on the One World Government agenda. Anyway, you guys should check the previous video. I will put the video in the description box below. So let's get started. I need to rewind a little bit. Okay, let's get started. By the way, this guy is Jorge Pauletti. He is Associate Legal Officer, Treaty Section, UN Office of Legal Affairs. So he's basically one of the top guys in the United Nations. And also, he doesn't realize that he is being recorded here. So this is actually a leak audio. Okay, so let's get started.
The United Nations. One of the defining features of this MAGA movement is the ultra-nationalism. No, ultra-nationalism. It's a movement that is deeply nationalistic. It's America first, America, make America great again, America, hate everybody that is not us, doesn't think like us, doesn't look like us, right? That's a central element.
First of all, why is nationalism a bad thing? I don't get it. And why do you want never-ending flows of immigrants? I mean, like, I get it. Immigrants are important, okay? But there must be if you want to let people come into your country, there must be a supply and demand basis. Like, for example, if a company, they need workers, but the local workers no longer want to work in the industry anymore, so they cannot find local workers. Okay, then you can bring in immigrants. That's fine, but if you want never-ending flow of immigrant, open borders, that doesn't even make sense to me. And even if you want to bring in legal immigrant, there must be proper checks. I mean, like, you must make sure that this guy doesn't have a criminal records. He is not associated with any gangs or drug cartels and so on. That's how you keep a country functioning, Anyway, let's continue.
And one of the main enemies are what they call the globalists. And the definition of globalist. I'm not sure the United Nations as an institution is going to survive a second term by Donald Trump. I'm not sure the UN is going to survive a second term. Because the purpose of Donald Trump is to end the international institutions that somehow led all the playing field. He wants America first.
Like, first of all, I feel like that is true during Trump's first presidency. Okay. By the way, this leak audio is in 2024, so Trump was not in power yet for the second time. Okay. So this is before the presidential election, actually. So anyway, I was saying that what he was saying is true during Trump's first presidency. But I feel like this second time around, Trump is a completely different president. He is no longer an America first president. I mean, like, it's obvious he's an Israeli first president at this point. But anyway, and I believe why Donald Trump is no longer the same Donald Trump as in the first time he was in office is because this time around he took money from Miriam Adelson, $100 million, in order for him to win the election. And I believe he also took money from Elon Musk. If I'm not mistaken, it was also $100 million. And unfortunately, when you take money, especially to that tune, to the tune of $100 million, unfortunately, you are just gonna have to deliver to their promises. Okay, this Trump is not an America First president. And secondly, I don't understand his logic. His logic is the UN is somewhat like make the world, make the US have a more. Let us rewind what he was saying. 1 second. International institution that somehow level the playing field, but level the playing field, but they also want America first. I don't understand how his logic works. I mean, like, if you want America first, then you are probably going to get less involved in foreign wars or foreign conflicts, right? Then that doesn't sound like America. I mean, if America wants less involvement in foreign issues and foreign wars and so on, then I guess the UN will have more power, right? I mean, like, it is more, it will be more of a level playing field, right? So what's wrong with putting America first? I don't get it. Anyway.
Just the UN not, and then I remember
we are terrified. They create this institution, which is the closest we've ever got to having a world government.
the world government,
World state.
like a one world government.
Exactly.
Globalism, one of the goals for the UN.
Absolutely. It's to create a space for also the creation of a consciousness of a species, of a planet, of an identity. One of the objectives of the UN is to create an identity of a global citizen.
Of a global citizen.
Yes. Of someone who shares an identity, a political identity with everybody on this planet.
Sorry, guys. Anyway, he was saying that he wants to create a political identity with everybody on this planet. Everybody on this planet share the same political identity. This is why you have to watch my previous video, because my previous video about the World Economic Forum, there was this guy named Yuval Noah Harari where he was talking about in the future there will be no more free will. AI can read your thoughts. AI can understand you better than yourself. That is what he was saying. Okay? So he was saying there will be no more free will. And then this guy is saying a political identity with everybody on this planet. Shared political identity. No more free will, shared political identity. Don't you guys think it sounds like North Korea? And he was also talking about a one world government. Okay. So is he talking about a one world government where everybody have the same political identity, and as per Yuval Noah from my previous video, there will be no more free will? This is terrifying, okay? Anyway, let's continue playing. There's more.
Is that known though that the UN wants is that one of the goals of the UN?
Yes. And I get it. That is annoying for people that are ultra-nationalists, because it's a threat to the absolute power of the United States. they don't want an institution over the U.S. telling the U.S. what to do. The United States pays 27% of the total budget of the United Nations. For example, say that the United Nations creates an environmental agency, and that environmental agency says that countries can only reach a certain level of pollution. How do you think all these crazy MAGA people are going to react to that?
Wait, why is that crazy? I mean, like, first of all, the United Nations is basically an NGO, non-profit organization, right? So what business do you have telling other sovereign nation what to do? I mean, like, if that sovereign nation choose to follow your policy guidance, that's their business. But if they don't want to follow, you have no rights to force them to adopt your policies. That is what it means to have sovereignty. You're just an NGO. Who are you telling people what to do? Anyway, there's more. Oh, also I want to say about this. I mean, like, as I was saying in my previous video, I don't even truly believe that global warming is true. I believe it is a hoax. And let alone global warming caused by CO2, that is even a bigger lie. And
Who are you? Global.
second, and I have a video I want to show to you guys, which I just saw this evening about global warming, which is really question some of the validity of the argument for global warming. So I'm just gonna play a small part of this video.
Clipping from 1988 has the United Nations officials telling the Associated Press that the rising sea levels over the next 30 years would wipe out and completely submerge the Maldives in the Indian Ocean. Well, sadly for them, we actually have satellite images from 1988 of the Maldives in comparison to 2023, and what we see is that the islands have actually grown. A similar video here shows the coast of Dubai from 1984 to 2021, and well, does it look like the sea level is rising to anyone else? Not sure what coastline it is here, but again, from 1984 up until recent times, we can see the sea level has not risen or changed.
So basically, it's a lie, right? I mean, like, the United Nations was saying that in 30 years, Maldives will no longer exist, they will be submerged, right? But the satellite images showed that not only did Maldives survive, but Maldives is thriving now with tourism and so on. And the satellite images shown just now showed that Maldives has become even bigger. It's not submerging at all. And as I was saying in my previous video, there were NASA footages showing that ice sea in Antarctica has actually increased ever since 1979 when they first started doing ice, what we call Antarctica ice level measurement. So I feel like global warming is a hoax. It is a hoax in order to create fear in our minds. This is what the government does all the time, instilling fear-mongering mentality in our heads in order to justify more wars, in order to create a one-world government. And now they're telling us, oh, you can only pollute so much. I mean, like, who are you to tell us what to do? Anyway.
Tell me the United
Security, yes.
95%.
Okay, this part is not very important. I want to move on to the next video.
So
1 second.
that when you brought the Young Global Leaders Program here for executive education and the Schwab Fellows, but there are two countries in the world now in which the young global leaders have emerged. Tell us just a bit about that in terms of the governance.
Yes, actually, this notion to integrate young leaders
is part of the World Economic Forum since many years. And I have to say, when I mention our names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I would know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
And that's true in Argentina too.
Well, yeah, sorry.
That's true in Argentina as well.
It's true in Argentina, and it's true in France now. I mean, with the president, with a young global leader. But what is important for me is those young global leaders have an opportunity to come here. And we have established a course now since several years. And I think this cooperation has a tremendous impact, because being here for a week really creates a strong community. And we, in addition to the young global leaders, we have now the global shapers in 450 cities around the world.
So he was saying that this is not the United Nations, by the way, guys. The guy that was speaking just now, his name is Klaus Schwab, and he was the founder of the World Economic Forum. I mean, like, he was giving a talk at World Economic Forum, and he was saying that he had this Young Global Leaders program, which has birthed many of the influential leaders these days. Figures like Justin Trudeau, Emmanuel Macron, Angela Merkel, and Vladimir Putin, and so on. And he said that this Young Global Leaders program has penetrated many governments around the world. I mean, like, so far, France, Argentina, and Canada has 50% of their cabinet members made up of this YGL program. Okay, that's not my word, that's his own words. I mean, like, how many more countries will he try to penetrate after this? Will the WEF try to penetrate after this? And based on the results that we have seen from Canada and France and Argentina recently, it has been a catastrophe. Their economy has been a disaster, and the open borders policy, I mean, like, Canada just had 1 million people last year out of a 40 million population. That is 2.5% increase in population in just 1 year, and it's not organic population growth, it is strictly immigrant population growth. That is crazy. A country that small cannot overnight host as many people as that, you know. Anyway, let's continue playing.
There's a second thing in that black box, an unrelenting stream of immigration, non-stop. Folks like me who are Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America, from then and on, will be white European stock. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
No, it's not a source of your strength. No, it's not. Okay. I don't like this idea of free flow of immigrants. I mean, like, if you want to go to any country, come in legally, okay? There must be, I mean, like, you can take immigrant, but it must be on a supply and demand basis. there must be checks, background checks, you know. You don't want to let millions of criminals into your country. I mean, like, it's just common sense, right? And you know what? I feel like the best thing to do is for the US to lift all the sanctions to Venezuela and Iran and so on, and let those countries flourish, okay? America should stop going to wars with the Middle East, okay? Let those countries flourish too. And I feel like it is best if everybody becomes rich and everybody stays where they are. Okay, I am all for diversity, but it is much harder for you to embrace diversity when 10 million people came in non-stop, okay? Millions and millions of people. That's not a sustainable way to govern a country. Anyway, there's more.
I think there's a resurgence of anti-Semitism because at this point in time, Europe has not yet learned how to be multicultural.
By the way, this lady is Barbara Lerner Specter, founding director of Paideia Stockholm.
And I think we're going to be part of the throes of that transformation, which must take place. Europe is not going to be the monolithic societies that they once were in the last century. Jews are going to be at the center of that. It's a huge transformation for Europe to make. They are now going into a multicultural mode, and Jews will be resented because of our leading role. But without that leading role and without that transformation, Europe will not survive.
Excuse me, says who? I mean, like, Europe must embrace multiculturalism. Says who? And you know what? I hate to say this. I hate to target any group, okay? Any specific group. But it has become impossible for me to do a research without encountering that group. Somehow they always get associated with it. And when I say that group, I mean that group that starts with the word J and ends with the word W. You know what I'm talking about. You know, there is a reason why you were being kicked out of 109 countries and over 1,000 times throughout history. You know, if that many people kick you out of their country, then probably they're not being anti-Semitic. Probably you were being problematic. And also she was saying Europe must embrace multiculturalism and whatever. How about we switch the game? How about we say it to Israel? Israel must take millions of Arabs and they must embrace multiculturalism. Okay? Instead of them ethnically cleanse Gaza, why don't they take the millions of people from Gaza and let them live in their country? Oh, cannot do that because of Hamas. Who gives a F about Hamas, okay? If you want to advocate to other people, oh, you must embrace multiculturalism, then you must practice what you preach, okay? Then why don't you start it? Start taking millions of Arabs, since you love it so much. And by the way, I hate this word anti-Semitic, okay? Because 99% of the time it is wrongly being used or termed, okay? The people in the Israelis right now, they're not Semitic people. They are Khazarian Jews, okay? They convert to Judaism. They were not Semitic people. The Arabs are Semitic people. Palestinians are Semitic people. Arab Jews are Semitic people. European Jews are not Semitic people. They don't have Semitic features to begin with. So if you want to use a term, then we must make sure at least we term it correctly. Use it to the correct people. Anyway, this one group, they keep on, every time I want to do research, somehow they are always involved. Somehow I always found their name, somehow I always find Israel involved. I don't know why. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you guys right now is, my point is, they are trying to flood the world with so many, especially the developed country. They are trying to flood the developed country with so many illegal immigrants, refugees, and so on. Previously, it was limited to only the West, but now even Japan has started taking immigrants. You see, what they are trying to do is to dilute cultures, okay? Eliminate cultures altogether. Eliminate several cultures altogether. Eliminate several languages. They want, like they said it themselves, they want everybody to think the same way. They want everybody to have the same political ideology. I mean, like, this is all truly sickening, okay? You have to do that. Dilute all the cultures, dilute all the languages, make everybody think the same way. Then only you can implement the one world government, okay? First, they have to play the divide and conquer stuff first, okay? First, they have to divide us, okay? Multiculturalism. Let's flood tens of millions of foreigners who think absolutely different than the way your people do, okay? Let's create a lot of tribalism. Let them fight against each other. And then, when things get really bad, then only you conquer them, okay? Then only you implement your policies. It's the divide and conquer game, okay? I don't know, guys. I feel like the future is bleak. I don't even know. I mean, like, I don't even see a bright future for myself. I hope we still have hope of I hope that we still can fight this thing. But at this point, I feel like it is all too late. The system has already been too much integrated into our everyday life. Anyway, if you guys like my video, kindly subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and leave some comments. Feel free to do so. See you guys next time. Bye bye.